back here at the Hard Rock. As we said, we got a busy show for you leading up to the Yankee pregame this evening. A lot to do, a tremendous amount of stuff to get to. Before I get to some Yankee stuff and get to the manager, which I want to get to right away, and Joe will join us at 4. We'll have Eli at 5. Two very big deaths, or very prominent passings. Number one, the passing of Connie Hawkins at 75. That might be a name some of you don't know very well. But Connie Hawkins was an enormous figure in basketball, from Bedford-Stuyvesant to Boys High. Went to Iowa, was caught up in the scandals, the basketball scandals. He was actually really unfairly treated. He was not the brightest of students. He was not the smartest of kids. He was a prodigy as a basketball player, as everyone knows from the Rucker tournament on down. He was Julius Erving before Julius Erving, okay? And he was banned for life from the NBA unfairly. He never played at Iowa. He never threw any games. He was hooked up with Jack Molinas, he and Roger Brown, his buddy. It was a time when there was an enormous gambling scandal. He got treated unfairly. He settled years later. If you've ever read the book Foul, you'll learn it all from a book entitled Foul. He settled for, at the time, an enormous amount of money. I think it was $35,000 for the rest of his life per year, but $1.3 million he got from the NBA for the settlement. At the time, he had gone to the ABA and played for the Pittsburgh Pipers. When he finally came to the NBA with the Phoenix Suns, you saw glimmers about how good he was. You saw glimmers of that with what he did. He had that 1 year where they were actually leading the Lakers, the Chamberlain Lakers. That was the year Wilt had knee surgery and missed a lot of the season and came back in the playoffs. And the Suns led the Lakers 3-1, and the Lakers came back and won the series. In the series, Connie Hawkins put on a show. He averaged 26, 14, and 7. But they lost the series. That first year in the NBA, Hawkins averaged 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. He was a 6'8" forward who swooped to the basket. Think of Julius Erving, but a guy with enormous hands at 6'8", who was a brilliant passer, had a deft touch, and was a all-time great. One of the greatest basketball players I ever saw when he was in his prime. And I did see him when he was young, and he was incredibly talented. But it was Julius Erving, before Julius Erving. He passes away at the age of 75, and that was not noted at least as much as it probably should have been. The one today is, of course, a Giant great, and that, of course, the legendary Y.A. Tiddle. And all Giant fans, all football fans have heard the name. Passed away today at the age of 90. Y.A. Tiddle, Yelverton Abraham Tiddle, the balding quarterback, came to the Giants as a washed-up, quote-unquote, washed-up player at the age of 34. Never brought the Giants a championship, brought them 3 straight years to the NFC, to the, at the time, NFL. The NFL, the title game in those days was one game. You had a Western Conference and the Eastern Conference, and you had one game. That was your championship. And those years they lost. So he never won a title, but he had great years with the Giants, and it was a very, very special time for the Giants, who had gone through an amazing number of years where they were good but didn't win a championship, from the late 50s right through those early 60s. But Y.A. Tiddle, Hall of Famer, Y.A. Tiddle, great Giant quarterback, and a name you've heard, if you've ever heard, if you have any history of know any history of the NFL at all, you know the name Y.A. Tiddle. You've heard it forever, and he passes away today at the age of 90. So a long life, a good life for the legendary Y.A.